Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at 5.
In between two houses, something caught my eye, and I turned around and I saw a moose. It was just running right at me. Kind of screamed a little bit, and it stopped, and it kind of went the other way.
New tonight at 5, a moose on the loose early this morning is back in its natural habitat after causing an all-day ruckus in the city. It was the talk of the town today as it made its way through a golf course and on the interstate trying to charge at people. Valley News Team's Callie Hubbard has our story.
Seeing a moose cruising along the interstate was a rare and startling sighting this morning.
We definitely weren't expecting it, no.
As McKenna DeLage and her sister were making their morning commute.
We were just driving, not thinking anything of it. And I look over and I was like, the moose is right there. You never really see a moose just running around in Fargo.
Dustin Schmidt says he had a rude awakening around 7 this morning when he came face to face with the near 6-7 foot tall moose on the Prairie Wood golf course.
In between two houses, something caught my eye, and I turned around and I saw a moose. It was just running right at me. Kind of screamed a little bit.
The animal came charging at him but kept on running.
And all of a sudden it just stopped, and I was like, oh, got to get a picture.
Not an amusing sight for many, but it wasn't long before people pulled out their phones to capture the rare moment. McKenna and Dustin saying that these animals are big and they're not something you want to mess around with.
They're scary and I don't know, just let it be.
Authorities are warning you that if you do see this moose, don't try to go up to it, don't try to find it with your car because doing so could be deadly. In Fargo, Callie Hubbard, Valley News Live.
Fargo police say the moose has moved north of the city for now. They tweeted asking the public to leave him alone as they'd like him to stay north of town, if not farther. A 22-year-old man is facing several charges after he allegedly knocked a woman unconscious earlier this week. James Murphy is charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault with a dangerous weapon, plus criminal trespass. All the charges are felonies. Police were called to a clinic for an assault report. The female victim told officers Murphy kicked in a locked apartment door, asked for his money, then knocked the victim unconscious with an airsoft gun. He'll be in court again later this month. You know our weather team only calls a first alert weather day when there's something going on, and today is one of those days. Let's check in with Hutch regarding tonight's forecast. Hey, Hutch.
Andrea, we do have a break in those clouds heading our way, and when we lose cloud cover, we can get pretty cold at night. We've been watching this throughout the week. It looks like our coldest night of the work week is upon us as we head into the night. That's why it is a first alert weather day into your Friday morning. Temperatures will dip down below freezing. Here's a look at the satellite, and we are seeing a clearing trend up by Winnipeg. Those clearing skies will allow more of our energy to escape to space overnight. We also have winds that have been with us for over 2 days that are decreasing. Look at Baudette. You're not far from the 30s already. Temperatures out to the south and west of Fargo are a little warmer, including in Fargo where we have 50s. Best chance of freezing conditions tonight across western Minnesota, Roseau through Lake of the Woods, all the way down into Lakes Country. Here in the Red River Valley and points to the west, we have a frost advisory in effect. So widespread frost, and we will be in the 30s before we head to bed tonight. It looks like a chilly one in store. Now, the weekend, it doesn't look like it's going to be too hot either. I'll have details in your hour-by-hour forecast on that coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Hutch. A man is in jail after a wild chase down Highway 10 from Glendon to Holly. The Clay County Sheriff says it started on the highway around 9 p.m. yesterday near Glendon. Deputies pulled over a driver for having a revoked license, and when authorities were talking to him on the side of the road, he hit the gas and took off. The chase ended in Holly after police used stop sticks and a pit maneuver. James Helps was arrested and faces multiple charges. An 18-year-old charged with sexually assaulting a young boy is scheduled to go to trial in November. Zachary Richardson is charged with 1 count of felony gross sexual imposition for allegedly assaulting a 4-year-old over the summer. According to court documents, therapists said Richardson would sexually offend young children if given the chance. He denies any abuse and has pleaded not guilty. One person is recovering after an accident in South Fargo. It happened around 7:30 this morning at the intersection of 32nd Avenue and 39th Street South. One vehicle was badly damaged and traffic was also backed up for some time. The other driver was checked out and is believed to be okay. COVID-19 is keeping families away from the doctor, and that means kids aren't getting their routine vaccines. Washington Bureau Chief Jacqueline Policastro tells us what pediatricians are doing to get their patients back into the office and what's happening when they get there.
As the country waits for a coronavirus vaccine, doctors are warning that children are falling behind on their routine vaccinations. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports from January through April of this year, the number of vaccinations given to patients under the age of 18 dropped by 3 million doses compared to the same time last year.
There's some reticence of parents to bring their children to hospital because they can pick something up, or to the doctor's offices.
Dr. Jose Romero is a pediatrician and chair of the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices. He says providers across the country are expanding options for routine wellness exams to make sure healthy patients stay healthy when they have to come in.
Some doctors are splitting their patient population so that they have well care in the morning, and then in the afternoon they only do sick patients.
Providers can choose to give vaccines through the accelerated immunization schedule. Parents bring their kids to receive multiple vaccines at one time, so the family doesn't have to make several trips to the doctor's office.
We have that in place. It's been proven, and it's there for people to use, and we're encouraging them to do so.
In an effort to make it easier to get your child vaccinated during the pandemic, the federal government is now allowing licensed pharmacists across the country to give vaccines to kids older than 3. They will follow the standard vaccine schedule and report back to your pediatrician. In Washington, I'm Jacqueline Policastro.
For more on this story, just head over to our VNL News app. Here are the latest COVID-19 numbers in the area. North Dakota is reporting 373 new cases along with 9 new deaths. Overall, 256 people have died in the state. In Minnesota, the state reports 1,066 new cases along with 13 new deaths. 2,049 people have died in Minnesota. Some verbal sparring at the White House today as reporters pushed the president's press secretary for a clear and definitive denouncement of white supremacist groups. Kayleigh McEnany is insisting President Trump has long denounced and criticized groups that embrace white supremacy, but her statement came without delivering the public declaration reporters sought.
This has been answered yesterday by the president himself, the day before by the president himself on the debate stage. The president was asked this. He said, sure, 3 times. Yesterday, he was point blank asked, do you denounce white supremacy? And he said, I've always denounced any form of that.
McEnany also criticized House Speaker Nancy Pelosi over the direction of negotiations on a COVID relief bill. More than 1,000 Honduran migrants entered Guatemala as a new caravan heads for the U.S. Men, women, and children were held up at the Honduran border. Guatemalan authorities tried to prevent them from entering by asking them to provide proof they didn't have COVID-19. After a standoff with authorities at the border, more than 1,000 migrants illegally crossed into Guatemala. Migrants said it's either crime or hunger that would kill them if they stay. A big box retailer wants to make your shopping experience seamless. What its store of the future will look like is next on Valley News Live at 5.
Clearing skies and some mighty cold air heading our way as we head into the overnight hours. Your Friday morning is a first alert weather day. I'll have details on how low we go coming up right after this.